Hey everybody, and we just found the best new YouTube channel. It's called Studio Presents.
Yeah, they've got this cool new show called Red Band Trailer with Diablo Cody, and she wrote Juno and Young Adult.
Yes, they also have interviews with people like Mindy Kaling from The Office, Zoe Deschanel, Jack Black, and even Jeff from Community. So, you should go check them out and subscribe and tell them we sent you.
Yeah.
And now, our feature presentation.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another Dicey review. My name is Bryson.
And I'm Josiah.
And no, it's not a joke, but we are actually reviewing Trump the game. Oh, this game. My friend had it, and I assumed it was a joke, like it was going to be one of the worst games ever, but I was shocked. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's like the basic Monopoly type game. You go around a board buying properties and landing on other things and getting trump cards and making deals because you have properties, and oh, it's just weird.
So the game is actually very simple. You only have 8 properties for sale, and so the game can go by fairly quickly. But you can't actually buy the properties just by landing on them like you would in Monopoly. When you land on a property, the bank invests money into it, so there's just some bills go into the box that represents the property, and you can't tell how much is in there at any time. So the amounts in the buildings or in the properties are building over time, and so it's a bit of a waiting game, trying to wait until there's a lot of money in there and then acquiring it. And from there, then more money will still end up getting in there, but you're trying to own as many properties as possible.
So this goes on for a while, and eventually you run out of trump cards, so the first round is over. After that time, all of the properties and money that you have are yours. Then you and everyone else you're playing with can make any deal they want. Like at times you'll all put in like $100 million, and then you'll just roll the die to see who gets the money. Other times you'll rent people parts of your building or something so they can use that to use another card. And there's just a bunch of ways that you can wheel and deal to get extra money through this round. But one key thing which I love is the fact that you cannot deliberately like backstab someone during this thing. So if someone rents one of your buildings, they have to give it back if that was part of the original deal. They cannot steal from you or anything. They have to give it back, or if they roll a die to see how much money they have to give, then they have to give whatever was originally dealt.
Yeah, the game is quite simple, but it can be a lot of fun playing with the right people. The game itself is entertaining, but it gets kind of boring fast, but you get through the first half of the game pretty quickly actually, so it keeps it from being too boring. The second half is the really fun part though, because people who know they're losing might just like throw all their money in and bet it on a dice roll. Or if you're winning, then you're trying to, or you're not even sure if you're winning, you might be wheeling and dealing, trying to just make sure you get that last couple $1 million so that you can get in the lead. And so it can be a lot of fun because you don't quite know how much other people have because you can't see what's in their properties. And so you kind of have to estimate and guess what they've got, and then you have to make decisions on what you want to buy, sell, or auction for the right price so that you can try and win.
Yeah, one thing that you are actually allowed to do, but I've never played this way because I think it would make it way worse, is the fact that you can actually look into your own properties to see how much money you have. And I don't like that because then at the end of the game, the wheeling and dealing gets limited a lot more than otherwise would happen. Like, if you don't know how much is in there, you can sell it for an amount, and you can either lose or win money. But if you know how much is in there, you wouldn't sell it for more or less than it's worth. So you lose a little bit right off the bat. But it's up to you which you decide. But I guess that's it for this part of the review, and on to the review part, I suppose. Yeah.
So the first thing we want to talk about is the time. How long does the game take? I think usually when we've played it, it's been about an hour, more or less. The game's pretty standard as far as time, but the wheeling and dealing could take more or less time depending on how stubborn the players are that you're playing with, or various other factors depending on what kind of deals you're making and how long it takes to add up amounts and stuff like that. But I think an hour is pretty standard.
So the price of this game, how much is it going to run you? It's not going to cost you a lot. The older version, which we have here, is $5, and the newer version, which I haven't seen, is $10.
We also want to mention the quality of the game. Like we said, this game is really, really cheap, so the quality is also very, very cheap. It's Monopoly money, cheap plastic pieces, and a simple fold-up game board. So the quality is pretty crappy, but for what you're paying, it's really nothing to complain about at all.
Yeah, the functionality is 100%. I don't think anything's wrong with the functionality. The aesthetics are not good or anything, but
it's very old.
It feels like a Donald Trump game, cheaply put together so he can make the most money. So the family friendliness of this game, I wouldn't say it's a very family friendly game. There's nothing like bad about it. None of the themes are like bad at all, but the fact that you have to make so many deals, kids just wouldn't enjoy it. So I definitely wouldn't say that if you have small children you should buy this game. It should be the opposite. If you have teen kids, then if you want to spend $5 on an afternoon or two of fun, then go ahead and buy this game.
As to replay value, I feel like this game has a decent amount of replay value. A big part of the game is, like we said, the dealing, the trying to coerce your opponents into dealing with you in a way that you feel will benefit you, even though you don't necessarily know if it will. That can become repetitive, but if you're playing with a lot of different people every time, it really does change the way the end game plays out.
Yeah, the whole first round definitely gets repetitive. It's more repetitive than Monopoly or something. I like how we keep comparing it to Monopoly, but it seems almost like Monopoly. So, yeah, you just go around the board over and over and over, collecting cards every turn, and just there's nothing much to it at all. So, overall rating, I actually really enjoy this game. As much as it seems like it's a joke, I actually really enjoy it. The whole wheeling and dealing aspect I really like. I've always been a wheeler and a dealer, I suppose. So I'm actually going to give this a 7.5 hair pieces out of 10.
I don't actually agree. I enjoyed the game, and I liked its brevity. It was short and sweet, but it did kind of feel like a cheap Monopoly to me. And while there were some new elements that I enjoyed, it just didn't strike me as being just something that I could just get into and even play another time. I'm going to give it a 4 hair pieces out of 10 because it's cheap and it's fun to play, but I don't feel like I'd come back and play this a bunch of times.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you found it informative at all, just like the video and please subscribe. But until next time, see ya.